Hello, we're going to be working through the checkbook packet today. We're going to take a look at the skills in problem number 1, which would be writing out a deposit slip first. So I have here in front of me 3 different deposit slips. All basically look for the same type of information, but have a different format in the way that they're presented. The first one is a deposit slip for a savings account. Notice that it asks for the name, date, and account number, as well as you fill in the currency, the coin, and the number of checks, the different line is 1 for each check. It then asks for the total deposit here on the bottom. The checking deposit ticket asks for all of the same information, the name, the date, and the account number. It only asks for cash though. It doesn't specifically differentiate between currency and coin. The third is still a deposit slip, but notice all of these different lines. So many of them. Oftentimes, all of these lines are what you'll see on the back of a savings or checkings deposit slip. So sometimes you will see a line on these that say total from the other side. That's because the back of the deposit slip had a listing for all of the possible checks that you could have been inserting or depositing into the account. Notice that this one also has your name. It actually asks for the street, city, and phone number, as well as the date. The account number is over here on the left. Excuse me. All right. So one of the things that you will see in the work for this week is there is a link to what we call the checkbook packet. The checkbook packet is just a listing of the different types of problems that you are expected to be able to do from chapter 4 in your textbook. So I'm going to go through problem number 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And 7. Yep, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. All right, so 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in, and we're going to start here with problem number 1. So problem number 1 gives you a paragraph of information, and within that paragraph, they tell you that you are selling food for a fundraiser and that you're going to make a deposit of 47 ones, 28 fives, 58 tens, 23 20s, 2 50s. All of those are in bills. Those are what is known as the currency. Anything in bill form is referred to as currency. We will have 257 pennies, 132 nickels, 324 quarters, 17 half dollars, that's a 50-cent piece, and 3 checks, one for $15, one for $20, and one for $35. We're going to fill in the deposit form, and we're going to note that we're not getting any cash back, and we will not have a total from the reverse side. So here's how it's done. When dealing with the currency or the bills are going to be added up, for me at least. I'm going to add them up here on the left side so that you can see me do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 47 and we're going to multiply that by $1. That's going to be a total of $47. Now, why would I do it that way? Well, if you've ever had to count down a till, or if you've been a server, you may have had to count out at the end of the night. And when you receive a lot of cash, what often happens is you don't count by 20s or by 10s. Instead, you count the number of bills. So I might count out my 20s and then just hand them to the person next to me and say I have 18. And so who's ever in charge of the drawer would then count to make sure that they also got 18 and do 18 times 20 to get the total amount of money. This is because it works better or faster to use the lower numbers and multiply by the currency than it does to give them a number, a total like, oh, it's, $360. It's not the way everybody does it, but it is often preferenced, and it's the way I know that I was taught would be proper. So we're going to do this way in order to model that behavior. All right, so then I'm going to have 28 times $5. That is 140, I believe. Yep. So there's $140. And then I've got 58 tens. So that's going to be 58 times $10, or $580. Then we've got 23 20s, which is $460. And 2 50s, which is going to be $100. Now, I just want to note that I'm doing this without a calculator. That doesn't have to be the way that you do it. You are welcome to use a calculator for this entire course. Find one you like and become familiar with it. All right, once I have the money all listed out, I'm going to go ahead and add these up. When I total up the currency, I will get $1,327. So $1,327. That is the number of my bills or currency. So I'm going to put that here in the list under currency. I am not going to leave this side blank. I am either going to put in a 0, 0, or I could fill it in with a straight line. We do this to specifically fill in the space so that nobody else can alter or edit our deposit slips, our checks, our registers, anything in accounting. If it's a blank, you want to put something in there so that no one else can go back and fill it in later. All right? So next is the coins. We have 257 pennies. So I'm going to take 257 and I'm going to multiply that by 1 cent, which is 0.01. That's going to give me $2.57. Then we're going to take 132 nickels and we're going to multiply that by 0.05. A nickel is worth 5 cents. And if I take 132 and multiply it by 0.05, I'm going to get $6.60. All right, I don't have any dimes, crazy, but I've got 324 quarters. So I'm going to take 324 and multiply that by 25 cents, or 0.25. That's going to give me $81. And anyone who's ever done laundry knows that quarters can add up fast. All right, then we've got 17 half dollars. And as I said, a half dollar is 50 cents. So 0.50 gives me $8.50. I don't have any more coins, so I can total this up. And in totaling all of the coins, I'm going to get $98.67. So this is going to be $98.67. That's what I'm going to put in for the coin. So $98.67. 98 to the left side, 67 to the right. There are 3 checks. The first one is for $15. The second one is for $20. And the third one is for $35. If possible, what I want to do is put the check number here so that I can specifically locate the check number with its identifying amount. I wasn't given that information, so I'm just going to list them as 15, 20, and 35. as we said, there is not a total from the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and total all this up. And when I do that, I get $1,495.67. There was no cash taken out of the deposit, so we will stay $1,495.67.